Suppose everyone was saying, "Where is she?" I thought we were going live. Yes, I'm here. So I'll wait for a few people to connect. I'm having my coffee. I have collected all the information I wish to share with you guys so we can get tucked into the update. I have noticed, how do I put it? Information has been lacking. So I've been meditating. There's been quite a few people that have been quite triggered of late, which has been quite interesting to deal with. So I feel it's time that we had an update. Hello, Shelley. Yes, I will chat to you after. Hello, Jen. Yes, I'm alive. I've been very blessed. I've had lovely people around me. How are we all? Hi, how are you, Antonella? How have you been? It depends on how many people are awake in the world at the moment. I'll wait for a few people to connect. They'll probably be getting their notifications shortly. And then you can get to the update of what I've been seeing. There's been a lot of synchronicities, but there's been a lot of changing vibrations and things that people have been experiencing. Hi, Giggle. I did mention you 2.5 ago, and I said that we would catch up after. There's been a lot of vibrations coming through of changes, and I've had a lot of work to do today, so I've caught up on board. I've got one email reading, or video reading rather. I've got an email again. But remember, on the website, it is Perth WA time, guys. So if you're having troubles, don't stress. I'll always reschedule you. So just inbox me. If you can't make it, I'll reschedule you. Hello. So how are we doing? I kind of figured it was about time I come on board and gave you guys an update. I've been meditating and tuning into the energy. And look, there are some people that are flying through with flying colours. I do feel, naturally speaking, there are certain waves moving off in different directions, and that's fine too. But there's particular groups that are feeling energies at a different frequency. Now, probably in the last week, I've had emails where people have been quite triggered, quite agitated, very panicky. There you go. See? Rose, it's time to start a psychic channel. Hi, Heidi. How are you? So how have our frequencies been? Plodding along. I have had a lot of emails where people have been very triggered and agitated. And I do feel a lot of people have had like I can't even call it a secondary purge. It's almost like an ongoing purge, and we're going, when are we going to get off this merry-go-round? And I think really that's the interesting thing, because they talk about in the actual journey of ascension, there is that detachment phase that comes through. So some people that were going through that vibration were like, whoa, what's going on with this? Why do I feel this way? Especially since at the beginning of the journey, it felt like quite a addictive action. So it came about where you felt all of a sudden, okay, the need for separation and evolution, so to speak, of yourself needed to actually occur, which a lot of people have been doing that, but some people have been going back over old ground. And I have noticed some synchronicities, almost like very old energy, perhaps. Hi, Fem Coach. How are you, beautiful? I love your channel. It's so neat and tidy. Yeah, like we've done a 360 and we're back to an old area of assessment. Almost like we're looking at an old way of doing something, or a particular people. But it's like we've done a complete 360. Anyone been feeling that? You're welcome. I had a look at it the other day. I was like, ooh, very nice. I'm getting there, but when you're doing the readings and you're trying to update, you'll understand. There's a lot of background things that we have to do. Having channels, that is quite a lot. Hey, Jen, how are you? Jen was very kind yesterday to help me while I was purging. Hello, neighbour, how are you? I was looking at your filing cabinet there thinking I'll be dodgy and go and drag it off the lawn. Yeah, it does. Yes. So has anyone been having trigger points this week thinking, God, are we pushing this wheelbarrow uphill? the headaches have been, the headaches have been, yeah, well, I did see some people there, Carmen. I was wondering what they were doing. I was like, what on earth are they doing? Oh, the good old days when you had Verge Side Collection and you go shopping. I used to do that with my sister. It'd be like, oh, yeah, that looks nice. I'm a recycler. I'll have to show you tomorrow maybe a recyclable I turned into a garden kind of cover so the moths, etc. don't eat it. Okay, what have I been saying? I have been saying synchronicities. I've been seeing numbers. I've been seeing vehicles. But the things in relation to what has been changing has been heart chakra. Now, a lot of us, in an aspect of a manifestation, we operate, and we hear this all the time, head and heart decisions, head and heart decisions. Now, the problem is in a manifestation level, when you're operating from the head and the heart, and this is scientifically proven, is that when you're trying to manifest from those two areas, what happens is you get a polarization. So you get both. You get the good and the bad. So yeah, you'll get what you want, but you'll also get the polar opposite, which is a tower moment or a bad kind of energy. So it's really profound that we're dealing with the heart chakra at the moment and we're purging a lot of old things. So just researching it, when you look at it, very much the energy and the frequency of us having to purge anything from past tense. Plus, it's interesting at the fact that we are in shadow period of Venus, moving to the point where we're going to go retrograde. And there's almost that aspect of, you know, things needing replacing, having to go back over old ground, really slowing us down. But trying to get the things, yeah, the yin and yang. But it is the yin and yang, but it sort of is. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hi, Rocky, how are you? So, you know, to operate from your heart chakra, you really need to be doing it from a very peaceful place. And when we have the ego, you know, come through, you know, in a trigger point and it's been wounded, what happens is we actually build a wall around our heart chakra that prevents us from manifesting from a place of purity. So we have the ego directly connected to it, which impacts our manifestation. So it is quite crucial to do the heart chakra clearing so that you can get the best out of the manifestation. Now, I can honestly say on this occasion of the moon, I had no intent. It was the first time I had a disconnect where there was no intent. And I found that very interesting. And I do feel it was a connection to releasing and just, I think it was something that Sula had said to me once, you know, everything you need you will have, which is true. So then the aspect of the need to manifest was less for me personally, but that was from my personal experience, because it is to a degree looking outside of yourself, but it's not. If you're coming from a pure intent point of view, then anything that you come from a pure point from, you will attract in. It's the laws of attraction. But if you're coming from that fear-based scenario, or you've got those old stories in your head connected to past pains, past wounds, where you're manifesting from is an ego point of view. So you will get the polar opposite on top of what, you know, you'll get is positive. You'll also get the yang of that, or the negative of that, which can be a tower moment. So it's very interesting that, you know, we do know that we have to purge past hurts, and we try and ask how we can actually do that. I'll go in so we can start, because I've got my whole book list ready to go. We're going in, and then I'll do a card reading after, and I'll answer any questions at the end, but if it gets too long, I'll do the questions separate. Okay, so what have I meditated upon? Morning. Okay, so in the Ascension, we're having a bit of trigger points coming through with, how do I put it? The ego. So it can be ebbs and flows, and some of us are almost feeling like we're on cloud nine, we're moving forward, we're getting things done, and then we're having a very sharp burst of a purging session. Now, I do believe this energy is physically not ours. I do feel it's counterparts or frequency of other people around us. Old energies also revisiting us. These can be real old core wounds connected to heart, doesn't have to be connected to twin. Where we're looking at it can be connected to past over loved ones, where we have the fair connected to, how we're going to achieve certain tasks, how we're going to, and this is masculine and feminine, this is collective at the moment, where we're really trying to process how we're going to get things done, how we're going to bring it to fruition, if we have the direct ability to do that. Which is unique because where Venus is asking us to have a look at all these situations. So many of us are putting a lot of pressure on ourselves at the moment. It's like the clock is ticking and we just feel so frustrated of we need to get X, Y, and Z done, and how are we going to get all of this done right now? And there is a huge pressure connected to getting things done. The funny thing is, a lot of you may be experiencing great fatigue. So you'll be coming out of it, and then all of a sudden you'll be getting to the point where you'll be getting very tired. And that directly is frustrating, because you're almost like you have the direct intent, you've got the drive and the willpower and all the rest of it. And then you're getting pulled back down again to slow down. So I feel a lot of the collective are getting quite frustrated at the blocks. I don't feel the blocks are there to hinder you, although they are getting to a point where they're making you question it. And and this is quite natural because you do tend to form an opinion that if a door's closed, that i.e. it means no, that's the wrong way. At times, yes, at times, no. More, it can be saying you're in the right place at the right time. You don't need to do anything, wait for your fruits to come in your labor, your harvest, so to speak. Now, numbers have been coming up. Now, when I see things, especially when I'm meditating upon the Twin Flame Collective, I know because my intent is set in a situation where I'm open to that awareness, because I know fully that I'm doing videos. I know very well when it's separate towards me in particular, because it's more visual 3D things for me. Now, the things I have been seeing have been numbers. Now, what numbers have I been seeing? Oh, what numbers haven't I been seeing? Okay, definitely back to 888. Now, this is more for me to relay to you from anything you manifested during the time of August, during the Lionsgate portal, is still in the, it's still moving. It's still moving through and it's coming. If any conversations or communication had paused around that time, it's moving forward. I'm also seeing a transformation. Now, you may be experiencing heightened dreams where you have more dreams where you feel they're not your dreams. Now, how do I explain it? It's like people are visually, I've been saying 9/11, 7/11, 9/11. Again, they're telling you you're reaching an end cycle of something and moving over to the next. So it is getting to the point. There you go. So it is moving. It's just saying keep going. And many of us are like, I'm so tired. So I don't feel it's directly connected to your direct, your emotions of the road. It's more the fatigue. Now, in these dreams, there are mental conversations happening, perhaps for many of you with your counterpart, and many of you cannot actually, you don't know what the conversation is. Now, you're going to have to interpret the actual visuals inside the dreams of what you're physically seeing to understand what subliminals are inside of that dream for you personally. But I do feel it's a preparation of a conversation at a telepathic level prior to any 3D kind of things rolling out. Now, it doesn't have to be that you're going to have physical communication, but it can be that the individuals inside the dreams you actually hear directly from or hear about or see. Now, as for caterpillars, I had been seeing a lot of them, but I feel we've passed that phase because now I'm seeing more moths. So it's showing that it's gone from one stage, and again, the 9, moving through to the ending of that cycle, moving into the, the transformation as such. Now, interestingly enough, the moth that I saw was green, which is directly related to heart chakra. Now, which is really where a lot of the energy and the purging is coming from at the moment, is the heart chakra, because they're the wounds connected to the past tense situations in your life. Now, with the wounds that are coming up, a lot of you may have actually, you're going to have loved ones around you because they're various colors. So far I have seen white, which is, the aspect of a purification of your soul on top of your loved ones who have passed over are with you, helping you at the moment. It can be on both sides where they're physically with you in energy and they're trying to help you move your energy forward in the direction that's intended for you. Try not to get too caught up on, what way is right, what way is wrong, because it is a sort of fence sitter situation right now. Now, when it comes to the green moth, it is connected to a transformation, and it is connected to the heart chakra I'm being shown. So the heart chakra, we're really guided to do some meditation in that area, and I'm even a culprit of it. At the moment, I hadn't been meditating because I was just getting so fatigued, dealing with errands, clients, etc. So I've really gone back into, tried to get back to the 3D, create a healthy structure of a routine, going to bed early, getting to a point where you meditate, and really, if you have to dig into those core wounds and they're coming up again, you may need to. And that's a way in which you can actually open that heart chakra to meditate upon. Now, a lot of research that I do in the background is really showing that if we have our heart chakra open, a lot of us at the moment are operating from the head and the heart. Now, in reality, when you're operating from that point of view, what you're wanting, you're not going to get because you are using the two. Now, from a manifestation, yes, you'll get it, but you'll also get the polar opposite, which is the negative side effect of it, because it's being channeled, almost like the ego. It's got the ego directly involved, plus because intuitively we're thinking back over things that have happened that have hurt us. It's quite problematic because you're manifesting the good, the bad, and the ugly. So in order to manifest your true potential of what you're wanting and to find peace, which is really funny because I think a lot of us have really been talking about that behind the scenes in relation to there's some of us have really reached that point where spiritually there isn't an expectation, but the old energy is coming up and it's like, seriously, are we going over this again? And then within the frequency, it's very hard to manifest. It's more you're wanting the peace. Now, in order to have that peace, it may mean you need to address those core wounds and release them. Now, there's various ways you can do it, but if they come up into your mind, for you to visually look at them and not shy away from it, that's really going to help you move forward. Okay, what else was I saying? Some of these wounds are coming up, that aren't yours, or they happened with you connected to them, but it's not your energy. It's somebody else meditating. It can be a counterpart meditating upon it or thinking about it. Now, I will get into the things I've tuned into with the masculine, but I just want to cover this bit here first, and then I'll get into it because I have tuned into them as well. Now, balancing on the 3D level, at the moment, many of the feminines and masculines, but feminines, it's like you're bouncing back and forward between your feminine and your masculine energy, and both sides are feeling quite imbalanced at the moment. So, on the hand of you looking at your masculine side, you're trying to get your power and you're moving forward and you're trying to manifest things and make things happen. But you're questioning those abilities. There can be some really questioning coming through at a very 3D level where you're thinking, to utilize that energy, to go into that masculine energy and actually move forward, to deal with the adversity, the conflict, the bills, doing it like a dude. It's really to the point where you're feeling a lack. So the courage through moving through that frequency can be heart chakra related, because the ego is telling you, no, you can't do that. You can't attain those dreams. And it can be a very temporary energy, and then you flick back out of it again. But the fatigue is impacting it. So if you can try and get rest, drink fluid, meditate, get out and walk, it's going to shake you out of that frequency. And it can be that you need to send light towards the downloads that you're getting from your counterparts so you can, kind of be in your correct vibration. Now, on the feminine side of things, it can be, simultaneously you're going to those aspects of vulnerability and going, oh, core wounds coming up again, or oh, gee, you know, am I attractive enough? And I know a lot of feminines at the moment, because they're so tired, they're like, whoa, I haven't kept myself in check. You know, I used to do this, I used to do that. And it's just that frequency coming through for you to reassess, and it's helping you get back into a routine of who you used to be. But you're not going to be the same person, because you have quite transformed. It's a very different way of looking at it, but you're trying to recreate a new routine in order to get your frequency back on track. Does that make sense? Okay, so heart chakra. Things we're going to be dealing with are going to be love for oneself and others. So we need to do some homework. We need to get to a point where we can perhaps deal with an aspect of adversity, and it's there every day, really. Although, in the way you need to relate to it, you need to relate to it on this occasion through the heart. So instead of being triggered and trying to go into that codependent mode of saving the person, assessing their ID, directly critiquing yourself against another human being, and it can be, you know, with that self-awareness, we can do this every second. It can be in every second situation. Yet, because we're not tuning into it, we're not aware of how often we're doing it. So just try it for a week, where if somebody triggers you, whoever it is, go, whoa, okay, I'm having this moment. Where is this coming from? And then go back to the heart, feel where that wound come from, and then send love towards them. And, you know, try not to act, try not to react, understand where it's coming from, but try and release it and find a warm, fuzzy feeling for the person. But it can get you back into that frequency of gratitude as well. You know, try and find something you're directly grateful for towards that person. So you're retraining, you know, your heart chakra, that it's okay to actually have those trigger modes, and it's still going to be safe because it's coming from a place of love, not vulnerability. Because the head and the heart are direct, they're, how do I put it? Operating from the heart is pure, whereas the head has the ego directly connected to it. Now, you may need to get to a point where you are mixing with like-minded people. And even if it is that you're purging, get to a point where you crack some funnies, where you can get into that happy frequency and you can just be yourself in that moment and just be okay with the heck. And I know that I talked to a girlfriend today, and she contacted me and she was going, hi, Moonlight, welcome. She was saying to me, oh, this energy is horrendous. And I was like, yes, I know it is. But within 2.5, we were laughing our heads off and just found the whole situation very, very amusing, because we were taking it light and amused by the adversity. Now, you need to get to a point where at the moment we really are needing to gain trust in our intuition. So not only are we being impacted by the heart chakra, but we're trying to regain the trust within our intuition. That has directly impacted us previously, which then directly affects the heart chakra. So if we can maybe test some theories in our life and say, okay, I'm thinking this is going to happen, you're regaining the confidence within your intuition that you're on the right track. So even if it's something so very simple, I think such and such is going to call at a certain time, you know, I think this person's going to say this or that. Again, it's rebuilding that intuition and going back into the trust of it. Try and follow your intuition regardless of what's happened previously, because your gut will tell you when you're receptively feeling something. Okay, now I do feel a lot of us are doing a 360 and we're getting to a point where we are revisiting old energies. If you're going back over old ground, you're meant to be. You need to assess it and you need to work through that energy, okay? So it's not incorrect, it's not taking you off path. And I think I did explain this to a person that came to me for a booking the other day. In theory, if the road is divinely guided, look at it as a T-section in the road. Okay, so this is the road. You've hit the T-section, right? So you've come to the end and you're going left or right. Which way is right? Now, that's the fence sitter mode, right? What feels better? That's what you've got to ask yourself. What in that road feels better? Is it the left, where, you know, it might be following your hopes, your dreams, and your passions and desires? Or is it, oh, you know, this one here seems like the most logical option because of counterpart? Now, if you're doing this, you're still operating from a place of fear. Because in reality, you know, if that was meant for your higher good, what you need to realize is all roads lead back to the heart. So there's no wrong road. If it's divinely guided in taking a path, you've got to pick that path. A lot of times when we don't pick a path, it's directly because we are fearing something, okay? We're fearing an outcome, or we're operating from a place of ego because we're trying to manifest something in, but we're operating from our mind, not our heart. If that person is directly for us, ironic, sacral chakra, which is where you manifest from as well. Yeah, you're getting into that aspect of a blockage, and you're saying, oh, you know, if I do that, that can mean X, Y, and Z. But what if that directly impacts your income? What if that impacts your career? Try and get back to a point where you don't fear using your intuition. That's what's coming through. Yes. Okay, what else have I been picking? Okay, a lot of the counterparts energies in the last week I've found has been in deep meditation and reflection. I've also been seeing them really meditating. So a lot of you might have been experienced headaches this week, where they've been sitting quite calmly and really observing a previous energy, a previous situation that has transpired between you and them. As well as their life. They're really going over their old ground of their energy. I don't feel them to be triggered. I'll be honest with you. I feel them to be very grounded and very rational in their minds right now, where they're really, really processing. Now, this is for their life as well. It's for what they feel spiritually is going to be correct for the big picture. They do have things that you are unaware of, that they are needing to deal with and had needed to deal with. So that energy has been hidden from you. A lot of the times what you will find on the twin flame journey is that even if a 3D situation looks absolutely horrendous, you've actually been saved from a worse scenario. Trust me on that one. So trust in the situation. Also, a lot of you are looking at the old frequency of what that person was like. Now, while you're in that mindset, that energy remains. It's very difficult, trust me, I know. But, you know, if you're meditating upon that, you're recreating that frequency. It's so bloody hard to get out of it. But if you're in that mindset, you need to just do what you're doing, okay? Do what you're doing. I'm not sure. At Yildiz Readings. No, I haven't. Where's that? I'll have a look after. All the links on this page. And you get a confirmation email. Okay. Exactly, and this is what I've been saying. Because we're operating from the head. Okay, let me do the reading and I'll talk to you in a minute. With this, they're coming from a place of the mind. So both you and counterpart are operating from the mind. So it can be that you're doing deep processing. But unfortunately, going in circles around and around, what's happening is you're feeling stuck and stagnant in that energy. Now, no matter how you look at it, you're looking at old energy. So you can't see the future. And for some of you, this is very problematic. It's getting to a point where you're looking at it and you're saying, God, you know, how is this ever going to be different? Again, that is past. That is past energy, and it is fear-based energy, and that's why I'm saying we need to deal with the heart chakra. My relationship will change when my vibration changes. Heart chakra. You know, if we're vibrating that and we're fearing that, then yeah, if you're going to manifest it in, you're going, oh, I'm a twin. And you're doing it from the heart as well as the head because you're physically manifesting. You're manifesting in the good, the bad, and the ugly. Check Check in, okay? Just check in. That's all I'm asking. I can imagine my desired life for 15 minutes every day. If you can get to a place where you can feel happy, try and find a happy channel. Be that music, be that quiet meditation, chakra clearing, go and do some gardening. If you're doing something that's triggering you, switch off. Even if it's just for an hour, it's going to give you enough to recoup, to get grounded, and then you can move forward. Okay. Instead of telling, sorry, it's like you're both doing the same thing, okay? You're both doing the same thing back and forward. So instead of problem-orientated stories, I will tell solution-orientated stories. And this is exactly what I was saying when I was tuning into what was going on with the mind and the heart at the moment. Head and heart. Look where the locations are. Head and heart. The laws of attraction assemble all cooperative relationships. So if you're tuning into, oh crap, this is going to look like shit when it comes. Yeah, it's going to, okay? If you're going to grasp the concept that if you have in fact purged, if you have in fact detached, you have theoretically done the work in your world, you are okay. So being okay can mean that you're in a best possible frequency to get to a point where you can physically allow this energy in. I will try not to control the uncontrollable. Detachment. Detach. Let it go. I've been hearing it all day. Okay. What's triggering you is you need to break away. You need to break away. Break it. Cut it. It's not ending. It's you're cutting. Okay? You're cutting it. You're stopping the codependent cycle. Yes, I do. You're dealing with the emotions that are triggering you, which is telling an old story. You're tuning into the one you want. That can be a soulmate, a twin flame, whoever you spiritually feel you want. Okay, deal with your finances. Where are your finances at? Hi, Stefan. You know, when you come to a place where you're concerned about your money, this can cause an old codependent energy. When you get to a point you feel you need to save them because you can see that they're struggling, you're not saving them. You're preventing them from their spiritual growth. You need to have trust in that. You can emotionally and spiritually support, but you can't 3D support because it turns it back into a codependent connection. And really, from the beginning point of the journey, you know, you've got that direct connection, the ignition, and then you go through this aspect of you're purging a karmic cycle, which is the codependent pattern. We're moving out of that because we're going through the ascension. So until we can completely detach, then, you know, you're not going to get your union. That detachment means of expectation of fear. Now think of it. When you're scared because you've been in 3D situations in traditional relationships and you're thinking, gosh, I don't even feel it's I don't want to be alone energy. It's I have to face myself. Really, that's what it comes down to. Can I fulfill my dreams? Can I create these funds? Can I have a humble, you know, happy life in a very minimalist way and still be completely fulfilled? It's all possible. It is all doable. It all is so. But then it's like, you know, if we, in a detachment level, have a look around your house and have a look at how many items you could physically live without. They're here, they're gone. You had a love for it, you have memories connected to it, they're here, they're gone. But the heart, what lives there is always. Yet in here, we tell then these horrible stories. Now, realistically speaking, if we're having a beautiful 5D life with whoever we want to be with, you know, that can be brought into the heart center to be manifested in. So that belief in it is the laws of attraction. Now, Your sacral chakra might be activated. So don't be surprised if all of a sudden you have all these energies and you're feeling, it can be that all of a sudden people are going to become more attracted to you. This can be masculine or feminine. Again, I do feel this is a spiritual test. Although it can change your frequency, and it can be to a point where you're getting tested and you need to, and it's up to you. It's not no wrong or right. I feel this is more, how do I put it? I feel this is more connected to the connection, although externals will be directly attracted. It doesn't feel like it's going to be something happening. It just feels there is the frequency of that attraction, so you're going to attract people. So be aware if you get wolf whistles on the street. Okay, all of you are needing to get grounded. You're so very tired. So very tired. So try not to burn yourselves out through this. It has been a pretty full-on week energetically. And I know, look, we have been to the point where this has been the whole year and we're so tired and we're going, oh God, now Venus retrograde. Is that all we need? I've got a birthday party on Friday, Antonella. Big shout out for the September babies. Happy birthday. It's my sister's birthday on Friday. She says she's 28. She's been saying that since she was like, I don't know, how old was she? She'd been 20 years over 28 and being sarcastic. I think she had said she was 17. We used to work together and she kept saying she was 17. I was like, oh, whatever. And one day she kept saying, it's one more day till my birthday. And she said it to her work colleague, and the colleague turned up and goes, oh, you're lying. And the next day she found out it was. Happy birthday to your twin. Yeah, so this poor woman actually bought her a hamper because she had ignored her actual birthday. But it had been an ongoing one-year joke. Heart chakra, it's right there. You can't make this up, as Giggle says. And Dari. Unconditional love. This week, try and find inner peace in your heart chakra so that you can manifest the best life forward. Don't freak out. Try and do heart chakra work. Now, a lot of purging will come through this, so it can be a testing time. It may be that you're wanting to get more time to actually feel free. Also try and get balanced. Now, the balance is going to be problematic, but the balance is going to come through, again, the headaches is your intuition, the third eye, also your mind. I keep saying manifestation, but bring it from a place of purity. If you're tuning into the pain, you might need to go through those blockages first, and then you can move the energy forward. But try and get balanced. So if it means going to the beach this week, if it means getting to a point where you kind of detach from certain energies and people, do such if you feel the need to, but don't isolate yourself. Meditate. Get balanced. Walk. Get out a bit. Love from the heart this week. Be open to love. Be open to unconditional love for all. You're not walking your truth because you have your heart chakra blocked. Get in touch with Mother Nature because it's going to help you get grounded. And that's for both sides. Now, I'll pull a few cards for masculine and then I will answer a few questions. What's masculine's doing? 3 for masculine, 3 for feminine. It has been very tiring. I've been like, seriously, take me out on a stretcher. It's so tiring. I mean, I never need to sleep. I'll tell you straight. I never need to sleep. And I would still feel worse having had a full night's sleep. Even having less regardless, it was like I had to go back to sleep again. Okay, feminines. You're overwhelmed. You're going in ebbs and flows of being overwhelmed and then going, oh, you know, what's going to happen? How is it going to be? Donation page is on here too. It's on the main page. Okay. You're overcoming temptation to get triggered. Some of you might be micromanaging yourself. If it needs to come up in a trigger point, it highlights what is blocked. It's not a bad thing. But again, some of these trigger points that are coming up may be you being dragged down back memory lane because your counterpart is tuning into that energy and you're reliving it again. Isn't that great? But you have your independence. You are working on that. You're developing that and you know who you are. So keep working on that. Keep doing that and know who you are. You're all good. You're receiving old energy. Have fun with that. It's crappy. Well, how did I say it? It feels like we're chucked in a washing machine with cement. Okay. Masculines are going to be quite outspoken, so don't be surprised if you get some aspect of communication. It can be in ebbs and flows of passion. It can be confusion or frustration, but I don't feel frustration. I just feel they're going to be very blunt. Nothing we wouldn't be surprised by. Okay. They're going to speak about something that's actually happened towards them. It may be they're going to express the fact of what transpired. It might also be that people have hurt them and they're expressing what has transpired, but they're going to be very frank, very frank. If there's not direct communication, they're talking to somebody about this to process because I feel they're trying to work out how to communicate this truth to you. This energy of what they're going through is making them feel vulnerable. So will the conversation. So if this is forward motion for you guys, and this happens in 2 months, 3 months, wherever it stands, it depends on where you are and what wave. This is collective energy at the moment. If you want to know directly into your twin flame journey, you'd need to book a reading. But the frequency that's coming up with this is they physically in the 3D are looking at their weaknesses, their vulnerabilities, their heart chakra, their hopes and dreams. They're wanting to be very direct. They're also really, really focused on people that, you know, have offended them, affected them, treated them like dirt to make them the person they had become because they are no longer that person. Okay? Now, with who they were previously, it's, how do I put it? Got to be so careful because everyone is so cautious to say things at the moment. How do I put it? That they are going to be different to who they were previously. But you're going to need to purge the way it was. You're going to need to let it go. You got to let it go. Any questions before I run? Any of you who are new, a big welcome. I hope you enjoyed the session. And I'll be on again soon. Yes, we are doing a lot of cleaning at the moment. It's so strange, though. I totally agree with you, Chris. It's like, seriously, where have we been storing these things? And I think that is an aspect of detachment, you know, because we're really being very, very critical. What do we need? What don't we need? It's almost like we're the Fool card, you know, getting ready to put the bag on and we're moving forward. So what do we need to take with us? What don't we? We're being quite practical. That can even be with our finances at the moment where we're looking at things saying, I really don't need to spend the money on that. It's just not necessary. Even to the point I need to get my nails done. I haven't had time. It's like, meh, whatever. You can't clean. Cleaning can actually indicate movement. So when that happens, it's a bit like nesting. Movement or something transpiring in your life is coming. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so when you get into that mode, it means you're getting, it can help, Dale, you know, where if you get to a point where you can do things, do such. If you can get to a point where you get motivated to do it, cool. Is it a 3D reason you feel you can't, or is it just an emotional thing at the moment? Yeah, it is. It is a rebirth. What you do find, though, it actually is a bit like, you know, in pregnancy, when the baby is about to come, your natural body instincts is to purge and clean and detox and prepare. So it is a natural, innate ability we have as human beings to actually sense a vibration, a change. I lived on a farm for 3 years, and you know, I had friends that would come over for Australia. This was when I was in Europe, and they would say, "What on earth are you doing?" And I would start putting things away. It was the old batten down the hatches syndrome. And they were going, "What are you doing?" You know, your sixth senses, if you don't have certain things, you rely on your instincts. So I've been quite blessed, really. These instinct developments have actually enhanced the gift over the years. So I would put things away and prepare, and 10 minutes later, you know, there was a storm. So your intuition of what's happening in your 3D is a direct reflection of what's going on. Now, what you might find is that your twin in particular, and that's in relation to you having struggles with Sally, that's for you. Your twin might be purging so horrendously if they've been ill, if they've been purging a codependent energy or a wound, you may get very nauseous purging that energy. Does that make sense? Yes, so it's like they're detoxing. Yeah, so, you know, drug, alcohol, you know, old core wounds of nausea. Sometimes it can be a negative energy inside where it's kind of bored out. It can be a mass purge. I do feel the masculines are being very careful about the people around them. They're very well aware of their meditation that they're needing to do, but they're very cautious about the people they're trusting at the moment. Very cautious. And they do need to be very cautious. It can just be emotional sometimes. I mean, because look, directly in the journey, you're having unconditional love. So it's not about you've got to be perfect. It's literally you are taking the person directly for who they are. But if they're choosing to do that, you can be experiencing that dynamic through your chakras, through the purging process, if that makes sense. Because really, if you're very much in your own physical energy and you're focused directly on your path and what you need to do, what you're wanting in your life, and you're doing the work, yes, you will want to white light them, but then other times it'll be you're trying to just focus on your 3D situations in front of you. You know what I mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, Sally? I've had many twins this week get very triggered at me. It's like, I know. Anyway, any more questions before I love and leave yous? As I said, if you're new, welcome. I hope to see you again. Yeah. Yes, I hear you. I've been there. That's where the purging's joyous, isn't it? You're like, oh. Anyway, any questions before I leave? Last question. I've been going since 6. Anytime, Terry. Thank you for hitting the like button, guys, because then it shares the video so other twins can actually get the information for support. Hundreds of questions. Come and talk to me then. Book a reading. Anytime, Giggle. Just do slight things, Dale. You know, get to a point where you create a routine. What I do, I've actually got, this is where my life got to, and that's so that I can get my shit together. Get a chart. Map your day. Have a basic routine. So it could be you add walk to the letterbox. It could be I'm going to go to the post office today. I'm going to do shopping. You know, so if you do that, you add to it and you're building your life up slowly. I mean, I did start doing the video on, you know, how to rebuild your life after a breakup. And that's not just connected to twin, it is connected to in general. So I'll start doing that video again tomorrow so that I can finish those. I've got the chakra videos to do, the numerology. It may be that I get the essentials done at the moment because they are going to end up being mass toolkits. I'm doing a lot of research into them. So it may be that they're available later, but they're definitely going to be up. It's just that the detail is important. There's no point me chucking up rubbish, you know, when you can get it elsewhere. It's like I'm fine-tuning it. And that's even to do with the mirroring within the twin flame journey. But this will probably be more relevant for a lot of other, you know, if we haven't purged a cycle and we're going over old ground, I feel a lot of us who are going through the ascension symptoms are more inclined to not require to revisit that energy because we have that self-awareness to that mirror aspect, whereas the ones that are further back, it's going to be more relevant for them. You can see that there's a transformation happening, so those tools will be more for that pocket of twins that are going through that transformation. That's okay, Chris. That was, what was the question? Did I miss the question? Yeah, but Chris, see, with the boundaries, what you'll find is because the ego was being purged, so yes, that break was necessary because the alignment was not correct. So it's not that you did anything wrong. It's more that needed to transpire because of the ascension that you were going through. The only way you can do that really is through detachment. You know, going through the ascension and having your awakening, it is at a very detached level. So even if you're in the twin flame journey and you're directly with your twin, you can do that, but you may have conflict during that process. So it's a bit more difficult. Whereas if you're doing it at a soul level, it is purely about you ascending to be that whole person so that you can operate from the heart. Does that make sense? So think of it as a spiritual, you're in the Bahamas, you are in a mud bath, you're detoxing, and you're going through an awakening. Oh, lots of love, Sally. Yes, we will have live on the couch with Yildiz soon, and I'm still trying to connect. So there's going to be Skype where anyone who has booked a reading will have an opportunity to at some point perhaps join me on the couch. So I'll connect you on the TV directly behind me. I'll sit on a chair and we can pick a subject and we can talk about it. I've asked Derry, I've asked Mark from YouTube. And really, you know, I'm going to get people that can do work in kinesiology and Reiki and psychology, and just so that we can work through our spiritual path and be the very best versions of ourselves we can be. So these tools are more based on that we can be the best. Yeah, and a mud bath, you know, we're just sitting there and we're detoxing, we're drinking, I don't know, green tea / pina colada. Yes, it surely is. Oh, what did I say to a person? I think I was saying to Giggle. It's a bit like being a counselor. Oh, no, I can't really say that on YouTube. I think that's a bit out there. I totally get you. I had some huge trigger points this week, very disgruntled people, very cross people. And the thing is, you know, I'm a twin. So not only am I going through an ascension, awakening, so to speak, you know, I'm purging as well. I'm also very cautious being psychic that I've got to clear my energy so that, you know, you guys get the best. But the thing is, we transmute energy. So when I'm doing a psychic reading on you on Skype, I'm receiving that download. Once I've tapped in and I've tuned in, I'm receiving that energy. So it's necessary for me to flush. But when you're doing this live all the time, you absorb it. So I'll be sitting there and I'll go, I need to do a live session. And I know because I can feel the frequency. So then I come on. But you've got to understand, you know, the one thing that we do tend to do is try and feel, because we're coming through ego, that another person doesn't understand. Well, if I have told you I am a twin, yes, I do understand. Yes, I do purge myself, but we can't, if we're in that frequency where we're projecting, we need to look at ourselves and say, is this about me? Because look, we know the mirroring effect, so we have to consider that. You know, is this person angry at me, or am I angry at that person? What's going on? What is the trigger point? Because a lot of people are like, yes, but my twin flame situation's unique. All of the twin flame situations unique. It's very unique. It can be horrendous, but where it's going to get us is going to be positive. So try to not get too triggered about, you know, is it going to be okay? We will be okay. It's trying to get us there. That's key. Okay. So again, if you are wanting to book a private session with me, jump through to the website. Now, please read the information on the website. I've had to reschedule a few people because you've booked, but you haven't looked at the time. Now, I have placed clocks on there. It's so simple. Time conversion clocks on the website. The fact that it is Perth, WA, Western Australia. If you do muck up, don't stress. I will reschedule you. No stress at all. So don't panic. I'm not going to go, ha, you know, I want my clientele. You become family to me. So do not stress about that. So the rest of you, I will see you soon. Bear with me as the channel is transforming. I'm one person, you know, but it will get there and we will have a lot of fun. Bye, guys.